I once got involved with a bunch of Palestinians. In fact, our hometown newspaper, the Tri-City Herald, did like about a 3/4 page article about Nathan Kirk, and great big picture of me. I don't know if it was on the front page. I don't think it was. Might have been. But okay, so here's what happened. I was in a book that if wholesalers who had sold to retailers in the Tri-Cities were not getting paid, these wholesalers would look in one of these books and there'd be Nathan Kirk in Kennewick who would collect it for them. So I began to get this whole slug of wholesaler debts. And funny thing was, most of them were Jewish out of New York. So after this enormous number, way out of line for anything I was usually dealing with, I went over to the store to take a look, and it was all closed up. And so I was trying to figure out what was going on. I get a call from the State Patrol Organized Crime Unit, and the call was anonymous. And the guy told me, what you're looking at is a bust out. And a bust out is where an organized gang, and maybe usually Palestinians, would open up a little store, and they would buy a lot of crap that they could sell in the store to Mexican laborers. Folks didn't have much money, so a lot of low quality music players and cassette tapes and shoes and boots and clothing. And so they would pay in cash for a while, and then they would get a credit rating, and they would then order the absolute maximum credit limit from every single one of their suppliers, pack it all into trucks, and leave the store, don't pay the rent on the store, and then they'd take these trucks around to migrant labor camps and sell out of the back of the trucks and keep the money tax-free. Bust out. Organized Crime Unit is interested, and I'm researching it. So sure enough, the United Parcel Service guy tells me that he in the beginning, when he would deliver stuff, these guys would peel off hundreds from these big rolls of bills and pay COD. And then when it came toward the end, they would wave him down. They didn't even want him to go to the store. They'd wave him down, back their truck up to his truck, and just throw boxes from his truck into their truck. Then I got a hold of some neighbors of where they lived, and all hours of the day and night they were backing yellow trucks, rental trucks, up to the garage and throwing boxes out and throwing boxes in, and guys were driving away Oregon, California to migrant labor camps. Okay, so one day I'm driving through Sunnyside, and I realized that there is a clothing store in Sunnyside, and I think it was called Yassir's, Y-A-S-I-R apostrophe S. And I figure this guy must be Palestinian. So I go in, and he's a middle-aged, respectable guy and his wife, and they sell nice quality stuff. And it's pretty clear that, I think he belonged to the Rotary. He's got a little sign there saying he belongs to the Rotary. And they want to be members of the community, and they want to raise their kids there and establish a good reputation. So I said, these other guys are going to give you a very bad reputation. You're going to find it hard to get credit with wholesalers because of you being Palestinian and them being Palestinian. We don't want to talk to you. Your FBI knows all about this. We don't need to tell you anything. We don't want to get ourselves in trouble. We ain't talking to you. So I kept researching, and then I find out that a Mexican guy had been doing the same thing. I don't know about a bust out, but he was selling crap out of the back of a truck at migrant labor camps. And these Palestinians approached him and said, no, you can't do this. This is our business. and this is our camp, and you need to stay away. Well, and they threatened to beat him up. Okay, now that bumps this thing up into what's called a RICO action, a racketeering, organized crime sort of thing. It's a federal offense. So I got to track down this Mexican guy, and he went by the name of I think it was La Yuca, the Joker. And so I finally find him in a migrant labor camp. He doesn't speak English, but his wife is this red-haired Anglo gal, and she speaks English, and he doesn't want anything to do with me or this case. So that was a bust. So I don't know how the Tri-City Herald wrote me up. I probably was a glory hound and called the Herald. I don't remember, but they wrote it up, this big thing. And so a couple days after it hit the paper, I get a call from a lady with a Palestinian accent. And so she says, these guys are not PLO. They don't give a damn about the Palestinian people. They are totally in it for themselves. They make a whole bunch of money, and then they buy fancy European automobiles. And in a village called Nablus, which I guess is near Bethlehem, they buy villas with swimming pools, and they're just in it for themselves. So make no mistake, these are not PLO. So after I listened to her, I said, well, thank you very much, Mrs. Yasser. And she said, you smart aleck, and hung up on me. So that was my big chance to be in the media.